sway. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the away. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to fall. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
So yes, this is the MLP Reviewers panel. Thank you all for coming to Nightmare Nights and to coming to this panel instead of your first con, because we were afraid that most people were going to go there instead. So basically, as you saw from this video, we are MLP Reviewers. This is Scribble Scrabble from some fan work reviews that you probably have never heard about. And this fancy gentleman is Thunderblur from the FMB podcast. And right next to me is the only person you probably actually know about, Dr. Wolf.
Good evening, everyone.
Oh, and I'm Robin0928. I make videos every now and then. So basically what we're here to do is we're going to discuss topics that we came up with over the last month because I procrastinated, and we're going to allow you guys to join into the discussion. We're going all the way from alternate equestrias to pretty much why we do this. So, hi Doc. Your scoff was very obvious.
No.
So I'm going to pull this up. So our first topic is, isn't it Nick's?
Yep.
Okay, next topic. Nick, please introduce.
By the way, it's Scribble Squabble, but nobody ever gets that right anyway.
Scribble Squabble? I thought it was Scribble Scrabble.
Yes, because I'm well known for playing Scrabble, a game that I absolutely suck at.
Exactly.
You know. And the funny thing is that I write fiction, and yet I suck at Scrabble. Alright. So, why am I here today? Well, I'm here to talk about basically in-depth analysis and why the show itself is deserving of this kind of in-depth analysis that we're well known for. So, biggest question right now is, why do we analyze content? Why do we have reviewers for just about anything, including in mainstream media? The answer is that not all media is created equally. Some are good, some are bad, some are so bad that they're good, but I don't think there's anything that's called so good that it's bad. So, anyway.
Citizen Kane.
You will not speak ill of Citizen Kane.
It's kind of overrated. I did watch it.
So, anywho, I guess just to start off, I actually got into MLP analysis for a rather odd reason. I was taking a class in college called systems analysis, and well, we had to use something called object-oriented analysis and design. And to put it bluntly, I was falling behind on that class. So I started looking up videos, trying to find some supplemental material just to figure it out. And what video do I happen to come across because of my history looking up MLP videos? A guy called Digibrony. And initially I didn't think much of it, but then whenever I started watching a couple more of his videos, I noticed that, surprisingly enough, he actually applied a lot of the same techniques that I learned in my analysis class, just to flesh out some of the more deeper aspects of the show. And I was rather impressed. I kind of watched people like Nostalgia Critic and Nostalgia Chick, and always wanted to get into reviews myself, but I always thought, I've never really done reviews. I've written my own work. I've been writing for 8 years, but I never really thought that I could do reviews. So at one point, I came across a piece of fiction that my friends basically kept on telling me, oh, this isn't, it's like, oh, you're looking too deeply into it. And it's probably the first fan fiction that comes to your mind, because it's probably the first fan fiction most people have read, My Little Dashie.
Boo.
Now, I went into that one because I thought, hey, I really like sadfics. I want to get the feels, man. But surprisingly enough, it didn't live up to the hype for me. And the funny thing is that nowadays I actually recommend the animated version over the non-animated, over the story, because it cut a lot of the fat that I felt was keeping the story from actually giving a full impact. Now, don't get me wrong, it does actually have a decent impact. The the problem I found was that there was just too many things that were blocking its path, mainly meme references. But anyway, I bring this up because with all the media that we get today, between videos, between books, it's like some books are like, you have the Harry Potters that are very good. They're very well written, and there's even some little Easter eggs planted in them. And then you get things like Twilight. The story, not the pony.
We do not speak of that.
You may not. So, basically, at the end of the day, what I try to do with my channel is that I try to get people to, I try not to just spout out facts about what I'm analyzing. I'm trying to get people to think about the content that they're bringing into their mind, because in my mind, if we really thought deeper about the content that we're consuming as a consumer-based society, then I don't think that things like Twilight might have gotten as popular as they did. You know, something that at the time a lot of people said, "Hey, this is really good," but you know, nowadays we laugh at it. So, I mean, if there's anything that I really want a lot of people to take away from my videos and what I'm talking about today is really, you don't have to be an analyst to think about what you're taking in, but you know, you really want to think deeply and make sure that the content that you're watching over and over and over again is actually something worthwhile. I think that's about all I have to say on that.
Very good. Thank you kindly. Do we want to keep talking on this?
If you have something that you'd like to add, sure.
I got into MLP analysis actually by watching, again, like Nick, I watched other people. I watched the Anthony C's, I watched the Paleo Stano's reviews, Golden Fox's reviews, A&Y from season 3 when it just came out, and Voice of Reason, and of course, Dr. Wolf. He had started about that time. I started watching him, and I thought I could do this too. 2 years later, a year later, I started actually making them, and a year later, I'm on a panel now, which I did this mainly because I thought it'd be fun, and I thought I'd have a lot of fun doing it, but now I more do it because I feel like this show is worth analyzing. I feel like there's actual quality and content here that some people don't recognize on their first viewing, or if they're not into the show. So that's my little soapbox moment. Thunder, you have anything to add?
No, not really.
Thank you, Thunder. Dr. Wolf?
I got into analyzing MLP, it's getting close to 18 months ago now. It's been a very, very long time. I wasn't looking to get famous. I wasn't looking to join a community. I felt that there wasn't enough being said about certain subjects and certain characters, and it was something that I was thinking about a lot. I just felt like, well, nobody seems to be talking about this, and I felt somebody should be talking about this. I actually put together my first video specifically about Fluttershy, because way back then it didn't look like any of the other analysts were talking about her or even thinking too highly about her, and I thought, she is worth something. She is an inspiring character. She has much more to her than just meets the eye.
Second best main 6.
Hush you.
It was something that I enjoyed doing. It was something that I felt passionate about, something that I knew I had a lot to say, and even though I had no idea how to make a video, my microphone was very substandard, and I had no OC to work with. I just wanted to put my voice out there. That's all it takes. You just have to decide, is this worth talking about? Is this worth discussing? Is this something that I'd want other people talking about and adding on to? That's what makes the difference. That's always what's made the difference for me. And the fact that I've improved upon so many of my talents in the process is a definite plus.
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. So, next topic is, I believe, Dr. Wolf's, actually.
Second? I thought I was going third.
I thought you were going second.
Oh.
Were you going second? I thought I was going third, but let's just go with yours, because You have an interesting topic about what works on YouTube.
Yes. Questions that I get a lot. How to YouTube? For lack of a better term, how to YouTube? People want to know how to get started, how to get noticed, how to do collaboration projects, the step-by-step process of how to become successful on YouTube. And I couldn't possibly claim to have all the answers on that subject. I haven't been doing this nearly as long as so many other YouTube channels out there. Other YouTube channels that are thousands of times bigger than my channel. But I do know that there are some things that I've noticed over time that do work, that do make a difference. And anyone who wants to start a YouTube channel of their own, regardless of the subject matter, I believe these tricks can help. They can make a difference. First and foremost, I want to emphasize the fact that your presentation or even how to make a video is not as important as you might think when creating your first project. Most everyone, including myself, starts off rather poorly when compared to those other content creators they admire. There are so many people out there who want to try making videos because they want to be just like this other person that they love watching. They want to be just like their idol. You're not going to be that good right out the gate. Those people that you enjoy watching over and over again, they've been doing this for a very long time. They've been putting in a lot of practice. They have the experience behind them. You can't say to yourself, when you create your first video and it doesn't look anywhere near as good as what you hope it would, you have to just put aside that thought of, oh, this will never go anywhere. You have to put aside that hesitation, that struggle within yourself. You have to believe in what you're creating because it's fun, because you want to put your voice out there. You want to have other people talking about certain subjects, or you want to start putting your art or animation out there, or you want to create music for other people to listen to. It's okay that it's not as good as the people you admire. The fact that you're doing something makes a difference. Now, I've already mentioned that my first video had no OC standing next to the images. My microphone was very substandard, just the one that came with the laptop. And I knew nothing about video editing at all. Nothing. But I was determined enough to figure out how to make it work. And honestly, if you have the drive, if you have the desire, there are learning tools available on YouTube and the rest of the internet on how to do practically anything you can think of. Any video editing software, any audio software, how to do artwork or animation step by step. You type in a question, you will find the answer. You just have to have the drive to learn. You have to decide, I want to do this. I want to make that happen. I want to see what happens with this new idea I have. Now, let's see here. I wanted to create a calm and welcoming atmosphere with the way I talked about MLP. There were other reviewers and analysts out there when I started, but I didn't think that anyone had this very calm nature about themselves, this inviting and welcoming nature. I wanted to create videos that encouraged discussion, where people felt safe and they could open themselves and talk about whatever's on their mind. None of that would have worked so well, though, if others before me had been doing that exact same thing. Or, like I mentioned before, my first video was discussing Fluttershy because no one else seemed to be doing that. If other people had already been making videos discussing Fluttershy in that way, it wouldn't have been nearly as effective. It is important that you find some way to create a unique perspective while also coming up with a unique way of discussing it. Or in other words, creating a character that the audience can pick up on. It's okay for your presentation to be pretty much bare bones when you're just starting out. Even if you don't attract that much of an audience, you're still getting in a lot of good practice. I will say that it is helpful to change up the visuals or just do something with how the video is looking, because you want people watching it instead of just listening to it if you can. They're more engaged if they are watching instead of just listening. Now let me see here. Where is that?
He has about 3 pages of this.
I wrote about 3.5 pages worth of notes, yeah. I tried to prepare this ahead of time as best I can.
I wrote like 1 note.
Right.
My notes went into the cloud and went poof.
Yeah.
That's why it's called a cloud. And there's my bad pun for the day.
Now, I mentioned before that it is important that you create a sort of character when you're making videos, especially when you are making videos where people are seeing you face to face on a daily basis, or even in my case where you're creating a character that is talking to the audience. It is important that you establish yourself as a character. You aren't just another person who is reviewing content. You are a character who is reviewing content. When people think of some of their great idols, the kind of people they go back to again and again and again to watch their videos, to watch their reviews, to watch their content, it's more about watching this person rather than watching what they're reviewing. You could listen to 5 other people review the same material, but when you see this one person review that same material, you still want to watch them because you want to watch that person, not what they're reviewing. They have created a sort of character that stands out in your minds. They have created a sort of presence online. And no matter what they're talking about, you keep going back to them because you like who they are and not necessarily so much on what they're doing. That's what makes a real difference when you are creating online content. You have to create this character. You have to try to stand out in that way. It's okay to try to review something obscure that other people really haven't gotten into. That might help. But in the end, if you want people to keep coming back, you have to create a character. You have to create this person that people enjoy listening to and enjoy watching. It's not just because they find them entertaining. It could be because they find them thought-provoking. It could be because they just like the way they sound or the way they look or just the way they talk about things. But yeah, it makes far more difference in how you're doing a review rather than what you're reviewing, at least as far as I can tell. Which brings me to the most important aspect of any content creator: passion. You absolutely have to be passionate about creating videos and getting your voice out there. Regardless of whether you become popular or not, you have to enjoy what you do. Regardless of whether people agree with your ideas or not, you have to love talking about it. Regardless of whether you have the time or not, when it comes to a hobby you feel passionate about, if I may steal a word from Pinkie Pie, you make the time. You make the time. If it's something that you feel passionate about, regardless of anything else that's going on in your life, you find a way to make it work. If the passion is there, then it will happen. It may not happen exactly as you hope, but it will happen. In my case, I've put together over 300 videos in nearly 18 months. I've had to put in more than 20 hours of work into making videos every week over the past year and some odd months. And that's on top of working a full-time career. It has been a very long haul to come this far, but to be honest, I'm not slowing down anytime soon because I like what I do. I love what I do. I like discussing MLP in great detail because I was already thinking about these things long before I started making videos. I like reading through every new comment and even responding to questions where I can. I wanted to put in the practice to improve upon my voice work. And to top it off, I enjoy seeing all the messages from people who have been inspired by my discussions. These are all the things that I feel passionate about. If one of my videos is not anywhere near as popular as one of the others I've made, I'll still enjoy making it because of those few things that I've mentioned, that's what really drives me. That's what gives me the passion to keep going. If you are passionate about the work and you are willing to be in it for the long haul, then maybe you too have what it takes to be a YouTuber. It's taken me nearly 18 months to get this far, but you know what? I'm sure I can't even imagine how far I could still get in the future. It does make a difference if you're willing to have the drive and the passion to make it happen. And that really applies in so many aspects of life, not just in creating content, but if something that you really want to be, you really want to do, you got to put aside the fact that so many others before you make it look easy. If it's what you want, then you can make it happen.
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. That was a lot longer than I thought it was, but anyway, that is... Yeah, you deserve it. You wrote 3.5 pages. Yeah. He made a lot more notes on this one topic than any of us did for this entire panel, so I think he did deserve that applause. My stance on how I figure what to do, how to YouTube, as he said, pretty much everything that I was about to say, but you also have to have one factor, which is a lot of luck, and that's what I got, how I got any success on YouTube. The first time I ever got any real promotion was from Anthony C. in one of his videos. It was because I messaged him on Google Hangouts. I didn't even have Skype at the time, just saying hi, and we started talking back and forth. We did a small podcast together, and it started my idea of doing YouTube. I started the podcast was fun. I want to do more videos now. I want to actually do this as a review show. One thing is to definitely be original. Be yourself, especially. Yes, you have to be a character, but also make that character pretty close to yourself. My persona is as close to myself as I can get because it'll make it easier when I'm writing the character. I'm acting as the character. I don't have a real difference right now, especially because I'm talking in front of a live audience with barely any notes, and I'm trying to stay in character, as much in character as possible. And be original, because actually, no one really wants to watch anyone else's content because they just ripped off someone else. I mean, no one ever, if you're already ripping off someone, they would rather watch the original than watch your content. It would make absolutely zero sense for you to rip anyone off.
Uh-huh.
I've been planning this joke for about a week now. This is my bad joke. That was another one of my bad jokes of the day. But
I don't get it.
Thanks, Nick. Thank you, Eric. Being original is one of the most important aspects, and promote the heck out of yourself. You're gonna want, especially when you're starting off, message people about doing crossovers. My most popular video was me asking voice on Skype, like, "Hey, do you want to do a collab?" He's like, "Sure." And it was my third review ever made. I was a nobody in the MLP analysis community, and I just met him. We started working together, and we've worked together many times since then. Thunder, anything to add?
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask for advice when making videos, because that's kind of one thing I've neglected while making my own. I don't ask, but I probably should do more asking for help to improve myself. So, yeah, that's all I really have to say.
Maybe you should make it a moment with Dr. Wolf. Maybe. Is that on the
Eventually.
list?
I don't know. Whenever I look at that moment with Dr. Wolf volunteer list, there's over 30 people still waiting their turn.
I've been waiting since February. I've been on the waiting. I was the third person to sign up.
Yeah.
You messaged all of us like, "Hey, I have this new thing going on. Here's the link." Third person. I was gonna originally talk about Gilda. Now it's about Cadence. I'm still waiting. It was about February, so about 8 months. Yeah. Thanks,
There
Doc.
are still over 30 people on that volunteer list who are still waiting their turn even after 8 months.
It's kind of ridiculous if you look at the list now compared to when it was. It was about like 5 people the first day.
No. It was a total of 17 people the first day.
And then day 2 it was about up to, what was it, like 45?
Now it's like 45. Yeah.
It was very quickly. People signed up very quickly when they heard about the doctor doing this.
Yeah.
Nick, do you have anything to say on this matter?
Not much, except to agree with Dr. Wolf, and yes, do it because you love it, not because you get a reward from it. And, that's about it.
YouTube fame is rare. Live in the moment. Have fun with it. So now it's time for my topic that is completely irrelevant to all of the actual discussions about why we do this, what we do. It is about the topic that I've kind of been, has been banging around this head for about, for a couple a couple months actually, was alternate equestrias. It was right after It's Not Easy Being Breezy when I started thinking about this idea. Mainly because the portal from Equestria Girls and the portal from It's Not Easy Being Breezy were probably the same animation reused, but I don't know because I haven't watched Equestria Girls since I first saw it. It's not a good movie, really. But my idea is...
You.
What? Oh, yeah. Rainbow Rocks was so much better, but I'm not going on to that tangent. I could be talking about Rainbow Rocks here for about 3 days. I'm just saying. I could spend a whole weekend talking about it. No, we're not doing that. But alternate Equestria. So, as we know of right now, in both comic and show canon, because that's what I count, we have the Breezy universe, the human universe, our quote-unquote canon universe, because, you know, Can Cream already did his own video about... Can Cream and Voice of Reason did their own video about if the one of the universes from the comics was actually the canon universe, but go check out them, because they did a better job explaining it than I ever could, and that universe that they talked about, which is the evil universe. So, I was thinking about this since It's Not Easy Being Breezy's, and what my conclusions were, it could happen. You know, maybe we could get a giant crossover in that MLP movie that got confirmed this week. It would be okay. I'm kind of my fanboy moment, but I think it would be really cool if they did a Road to the Multiverse parody on MLP. If anyone got that reference, thank you. Some people got the Family Guy reference today. Hi, Thunder. Do you have any? Are you mocking me?
Just a little bit.
Okay, thanks. Just needed to ask that. But yeah, I think that there is a potential that alternate universes could affect the show Prime, the comics, which they already have in the Friends Forever series, I believe. I could be wrong though, because, you know, comics, I haven't kept up with them all. And the Equestria Girls universe, I think that they could do multiversal theories. I think that would be a great idea. I think it would be really fun to see how they could tackle alternate universes the same way they tackle time travel, which was not at all. I don't like that episode. It is a bad episode, and you should feel bad when watching it.
Well, it did set the tone for Twilight Kingdom, you know, when Cerberus left.
Yes, it did, and that's the one good thing I can admit about it. It did set that up, and I actually forgot about it when I watched Twilight Kingdom.
So I say to you again, hush.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, what's funny is she could have been like, wait a minute, I look exactly how I did when I saw myself from the future and I'm about to get a time travel spell. I don't want to go back. But then again, fixed points in time if you're looking at Doctor Who canon, which I always do. Saving that one too. Thunderblower also has his Sonic, but...
I left it in the room.
You left it in the game room, really?
Yeah.
You just lost a Sonic!
Actually, the hotel room, but...
Oh, the hotel. Okay, I thought you lost it in the game room.
No.
Then you would have lost a Sonic. Thunderblur, anything to say on alternate Equestrias?
As long as there's not too much tampering with the alternate universes in the show, I'm definitely wanting to see that happen in the series itself.
Nick?
No, I see enough alternate universes in the MLP fan fiction that I review, but yeah,
It's true.
As long as you have a consistent world, yeah, sure. Well, even then, I mean, the canon world isn't as consistent, and that's even joked about in one of the comics, one of the more recent ones.
I saw that. That was actually really funny.
Yeah. Who needs
Again-
continuity?
Again, how does winter wrap up come right before the running of the leaves in Fall Weather Friends? I'm still confused about that.
Yeah.
It's been almost 2 years.
Why? At first I developed a theory that maybe the seasons run in reverse in Equestria.
Maybe that makes sense, but then it's only 2 weeks from from spring to fall.
Yeah, but then I remember in Ticketmaster when Watershed
The
said
summer sun celebration as well.
they were doing spring cleaning, then Twilight said it's summer, she said better late than ever. So if they did one in reverse, they would have said better.
How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is Kate being pregnant sometime between the first episode and that. And
So it was 9 months to that, but only a year to Twilight's Kingdom.
actually, equines have pregnancies between 10 and 11 months.
So it was 11. So all of that stuff from baby cakes to Princess Twilight Sparkle was only a month?
I just assumed
Twilight, you need a break.
I just assumed that maybe because of the Return of Discord and the Return of the Crystal Empire, they just had to skip the Summer Sun celebration both years.
That would make sense, but then, of course, Princess Twilight Sparkle was like, oh, it's only been a year since you met each other. Oh, yeah, thanks.
The fact that everything that ever happened in the past happened exactly 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, that's another point that I'm not going to go into because that would take way too long to discuss. Also, thanks, security guy. That's what I've been calling him. I know his name, but I'm just going to keep on calling him that. I'm kind of doing it to annoy him. So, Dr. Wolf, do you have anything to say on alternate equestrians?
I plead the fifth.
And there's the banter you were talking about. That's an inside joke. That's a bad inside joke as well. It wasn't funny.
It was only funny to you, so it's an inside joke with yourself. Congratulations.
I think I've broken the fifth wall now. I mean, we break the fourth wall so many times on our channels that it doesn't even matter. It's the fifth wall now. I mean, we that's the fourth wall, pretty much. We break it a lot. Thunderblur, your topic. That was Ino's topic because you didn't think of one.
Yeah, I didn't think of one, but it's about diversity in the show and within the fandom. Actually, a lot more in the fandom. I've seen plenty of people that are artists and musicians, along with analysts analysts and artists. This fandom is very active, so there's a lot of things going on top of each other, and I can't really describe how diverse it really is.
Move your microphone a little bit closer.
Oh,
Yeah, move your microphone a bit closer, man. See, it's not so funny when I'm there.
but yeah, it's really expansive. This fandom is just so diverse, it's so different, it's unique, and all the things that go on all happen not at the same time, but almost really close to each other. And it's actually really, I find it amazing.
I think we're just going in order to the table. Nick?
Diversity in the fandom. Well, I can tell you this much: it's a lot more diverse than some of the other fandoms I've been a part of. I mean, yeah, that's about all I have to say, and I love the diversity. I thought he would speak for longer.
Oh,
So did I.
I see. That's okay. I, for one, believe that this fandom is so diverse to begin with because this is by far the most welcoming and understanding, creative, and just enjoyable fandom I have ever seen on the internet.
Ever.
And my goodness, it just took so many people by surprise to see all this camaraderie surrounding a show about pink ponies. And you know what? It was confusing for a lot of us at first, myself included. But I just enjoy that welcoming feeling, that understanding camaraderie. I love seeing that, and I want to encourage that, and I want to build upon that. And I've been making a lot of videos that discuss that very thing, and I think it will continue to grow in the future as we continue to be more diverse and inviting and welcoming.
I thought that you would speak for longer, but yeah, we are such a strange fandom. I never thought... Okay, little personal story. About the time I was 6 or 7, I used to take dance classes. I once went home with a friend of mine around that time, and she was playing Generation 3 of MLP. I looked at this... Thank you for that. I looked at this show, and I said to myself, I will never watch a show like this made for little girls. 4 years later, of course, you know, the show comes out, it does extremely well, this fandom gets started, BronyCon starts happening, and then I hear about all this stuff going on about this show called My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic back in, I think, right after Season 2 it ended. So, right after Season 2 ended, I got sick of hearing about it, I'm like, what is this show? I'm just gonna check it out. So I spent a night and I did what I usually do with cartoons, which is watch the first 5 episodes. Loved episodes 1 through 4. Episode 5, I've talked about enough. Griffin the Brush Off. I hate that episode, but I'm not going into that today.
No, fun fact. Yoda and Sonata Dust have the same DA.
Okay, he's having fun with it.
So Worst One Shot was voiced by the same person that voiced one of the best one shots.
Yeah.
I give up. Yeah, I watched episode 5, hated it, and I'm like, okay, I'll watch episode 6. And then 2 weeks later, I was starting on fan content because I'd watched all the episodes in a 2-week period. And I was already done, and I was watching pretty much everything that the fandom had created at that point, which was fan fictions, fan art, fan music. I still have a lot of my old fan music from when I first got into the fandom on my phone. And then analysis videos. Yeah, segueing back into something else. I did start watching analysis videos after I finished Season 2. And Season 3 happened. I still hadn't started making those videos. And then, yeah, all this stuff happened. And here I am. It's a thing. But this fandom is so diverse. I never thought I would ever see a fandom like this ever. I've been in many fandoms before. I'm still in the Whovian fandom, and looking at that fandom compared to this one, we're so much more inviting. If you're a fan of one aspect of the show, you're welcome in the fandom. If you're a fan of music, you're a fan of the show. If you're a fan of fan work, you're a fan of the show. If you're a fan of analysis, you're a fan of the show. If you're fans of everything, you're a fan of the show. If you're a fan of the 10th Doctor, you're a Whovian. If you're a fan of the 11th Doctor, you're not a Whovian. If you're a fan of the 9th Doctor, you can just stay in the corner over there.
But the 9th Doctor was awesome. What are you talking about?
I don't like Christopher Eccleston. Matt Smith was best Doctor.
Look what you started, Robin.
I have started a flame war in the comments, so this is going to be uploaded on my channel, and I already can feel the flame war rising from the table.
What are you trying to do? The comment section is now live. It can hurt us.
Oh, God! I just realized it. It's like doing a podcast all over again.
Yeah, these people you can't delete if they.
I can't block them?
No, you can't block them if they.
We had a guy here that had a pitchfork earlier. I don't know where he went.
That was you.
Oh, great. So,
I'm now actually, the Queen Crystal's cosplayer, she's back there. She has a very sharp horn. I'm afraid that she could impale me. And if you look at this convention as well, you just see how many fans there are, and just the age range of the show goes from what Hasbro expected all the way to us weirdos who watch the show. And I'm pretty sure no one actually making the show ever thought that this show would ever reach any mass audience above the age limit, above the age range that they say. I call it the age limit. Faust did, yes, I do remember that. She all hail the Fausticorn because she made this show. But I said in my vlog that I really didn't think she was that great of a writer. She set up this universe, but she wasn't really that great of a writer. Just my opinion, though. This fandom is huge, it's diverse, it's something that I never thought I would see, and I love it every day. Do not kill me! The security guard's back there, by the way. You might want to turn around. You might want to turn around, by the way. He's there to make sure that none of us get assassinated.
So far, Robin's halfway there.
Yeah, I know. I'm the one who's closest to getting killed. Hi. Yes, this has been said on multiple occasions. She's a great world builder. She can make amazing worlds. Powerpuff Girls is just one of them. MLP is another one. Wander Over Yonder. Not going to talk about it. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. Thank you. I almost forgot about that one. Some of my favorite shows ever made. She made these. She can set up amazing worlds. But she's not a great writer. Those 3 episodes are not the best if you really think about it. They're not the god trio that we all think of them as. They're okay. They're okay. Yes, she did. And originally, I still like the original plan for the first season, which was Nightmare Moon being the ongoing arc villain. Yeah, I think it would have been awesome. But what we got was an amazing show, and what we got out of the amazing show was us. Our characters would probably not exist if this show had not existed. Actually, I could definitely agree with that because we'd be stuck reviewing G3. Yeah. Hi. Well, there wouldn't have been Luna Eclipsed, and a lot of people would have been really, really mad that there was never a Luna episode, because even in the first 2 episodes, she became a fan favorite. I still remember seeing fan works dated back to right after the series aired about Nightmare Moon and Luna. So she's always been a fan favorite character, and I'm pretty sure no one would like to see her go. There wouldn't be a redemption theme, but little point for you, I hate redemption arcs in MLP. Trixie's redemption was forced. Discord's redemption was forced. Sunset Shimmer, not
Hers
going to
was the
say
best.
anything.
Hers was actually the best.
3 seconds!
Hey, it worked in Rainbow Rocks. Why not?
Okay, yeah, it worked in Rainbow Rocks, but we didn't know about Rainbow Rocks back then.
Still works.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw Equestria Girls, it was a photo set. It took Luna 1,000 years to reform. Discord, 5 minutes. Sunset Shimmer, 3 seconds. Was definitely better in Equestria Girls 2. That is obvious, you know, her arc didn't end there, but back when the movie came out, that was all it took. Taste the rainbow! And he's still one of the best characters on the show still. Yes, it was. It was definitely Discord's has the best reformation. Trixie also, she had a good reformation, but it was kind of forced. Yes.
About the Discord reformation, I don't really, I will say that Discord, it felt like, I don't know if he was really redeemed because for the most part, I don't think he ever showed any kind of remorse for anything he's done. It wasn't until the season finale where he showed some kind of remorse there. So I
For
don't
everything.
think he really redeemed until then.
Well,
It's a redemption arc. It took
Well-
place over the 2 seasons.
the other thing to note too is that the other thing to note too is that with Discord, his redemption wasn't based around him having a complete change of heart. The idea was basically to get him from point A, which was I'm just going to mess everything up for
Chaos
the
is
lulz,
awesome, basically.
to I'm going to still mess some things up, but not just for the lulz. I actually want some friends.
So he basically went from chaotic evil, if you play Dungeons & Dragons, you're going to get this reference, chaotic evil to chaotic neutral, basically. And then at the end of Season 4, he's chaotic good, pretty much. I still think one of the funniest things is the picture that I originally did for my moral system, which I didn't understand the joke until later. It had, I think Fluttershy was lawful evil. I thought it was funny back when I started on the show. I thought that was probably one of the funniest things. Didn't get the reference, but I thought it worked for a moral tab, so I went with it. I don't know where the file is now. It's lost in the abyss of my computer. That's still the same computer I started on. Nothing's changed. Actually, nothing has changed about my show. I've just been making more and more of it. I've been wasting over a year of my life. I now feel bad about myself.
And we ready to just open the discussion?
We're all open for Q&A?
All right, so yeah, no, we're now open for Q&A discussions.
Yeah.
So,
The top kick? No. I did not.
I'd say how it makes me think afterwards. It could be the characters, it could be the story, it could be the comedy, it could be whichever element, but it has to be something that makes me think, something that I want to look back on again and again and again. I think the worst thing that an episode can do is to just be plain forgettable, where you just can't even remember seeing any of it right after finishing it, that it leaves no impact at all.
Apple Family Reunion. I never reviewed that episode because I was originally going to review the episode. That was going to be my last season 3 review before going on to season 4. And I started writing it, and I realized I have nothing to say. This. Okay. The thing that I have about sometimes when I can't think of anything, saying, oh, what about this one moment? Yes, it was a moment. It happened. It was adorable, yes, but that's all I could say. That was the only real thing I thought of was, yeah, Baby Applejack was awesome. This episode was forgettable. The song was okay, though. That would have been the whole review. So I usually, when I'm looking for something, in either good or bad episode, I'm looking for something that I can remember. I'll be looking for something. A good episode has something that I can remember and I can call back on when I'm thinking about episodes or making my reviews that was great or that was fantastic or something, an element that worked, the character development, the humor, the songs that are in it, the background music as well, because not many people touch about that on that. An episode I don't like, it's the exact opposite. It's something that I won't remember 10 minutes after finishing. I'll just be like, that was bad. That's all I can say, it was bad. Thunder?
I really don't have a lot to say about that.
Stuff and things?
Stuff and things.
Stuff and things.
In terms of what I look for in an episode, what I look for is relatable conflict. Mainly like, for example, with the majority of the first season, a lot of it was kind of slice of life. Same thing can be said for season 2. And, it's like, what I really want is, because originally the show is for essentially girls, or specifically girls before their teenage years. So, like, I want, again, it kind of comes back to my whole philosophy of I want people to think about the content that they're viewing, but, it's like, I want to see what happens whenever you confront a bully and they have no real relatability to you yourself. It's like, how do you deal with that? So for things like Diamond Tiara, Silver Spoon, while I think that they're kind of a one-note character, I will admit that these kinds of bullies do exist. I mean, I came across them all the time in school. So, I mean, like with Babseed, she was actually very relatable because it's like she became a bully because she didn't want to because she didn't want to lower her defenses in this new place. She wanted to start new, even if that meant going completely opposite of what she was doing in Manhattan. So it's like having Silver Spoon, Diamond Tiara there being kind of that irredeemable quality. I mean,
it works.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually kind of like it if even Silver Spoon said, you know what, I'm tired of this. I don't want to keep bullying the CMC. But, will that work? Will that not work? Depends on how the writers handle it. But Diamond Tiara, I just look at her and it's like, she's a character I love to hate.
Nick, we could ask Emmy Larson.
Yeah. Did you have a question?
I was going to say, there are some signs that Silver Spoon actually has a little bit more morals than Diamond Tiara.
Flight to the Finish?
Yes.
I can't remember anything right now, but there was a few.
Flight to the Finish was definitely one of them. It was a great episode. Anyway. Favorite episode of season 4, one of my favorite episodes of all time. Best CMC episode, not much I can say besides it was amazing. And yes, I do think that Silver Spoon eventually one day could be redeemed, but I don't think the writers will. That's my problem. I know that it can happen, and I know that it can work if it happens, but I don't think the writers will make this major change to this character. I have seen actually some fan fictions, and I may have to link those to you later, where they did actually redeem Silver Spoon in a way that worked for me. I believe one of them was also in an idea from Voices Top 10, which was Silver Spoon loses her cutie mark. Yeah, it was a weird story, but it actually redeems Silver Spoon in a very good way, and it gives her a small arc, and I like it. It was good. Gibbon is the best. I actually have an OC where I just took Gibbon's OCs and painted over them. In Microsoft Paint, too. Low
'Cause, you
budget
know-
show for the win.
Because, copying people, that's just...
I
that's
did
just
ask
low.
Gibbons permission, though. Nick, I did ask Gibbons permission, so. I thought that was what they were going to do in Magical Mystery Cure, actually.
And we all saw how that was.
I like Magical Mystery Cure.
I do too. You won't hear me saying anything really bad about it. It just, I wish it could have been more evenly paced.
Yeah. I have the full soundtrack on my cell phone. That does not count. Yeah, that was weird. They lose their cutie marks, which should obviously be more than just having them switched around, and yet nothing changes. So what are cutie marks?
Well-
Cutie marks are weird.
Well, cutie marks are magic. I mean...
Friendship is magic. Friendship and music are both magic as well.
I think it was Call of the Cutie where they actually did... didn't Twilight actually say, I can't just make it appear because it is its own magic.
I think she did say that, but I'd have to check the episode, and I'm not gonna pull it up right now.
Was there someone over here that raised their hand? Or?
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Cutie marks are just really low level, so they probably don't require that much.
It's a passive magic.
Yeah, passive magic is there, but once that's taken away,
And it leaves a mark.
When season 5 was on, we've already seen one G1 villain. What other G1 villain would you guys probably like to see?
I want to see the sea ponies. Shooby-doo, shooby-doo. I had to make it. I want to see the big purple glob thing. I can't remember the name. The schmooze, yes, I want to see the schmooze. Just because I want to see how G4 does it. Thunderblow? Any previous generations that you want to see?
I haven't watched Generation 1, but I feel like I need to watch it.
Okay, basically the first episode was okay, and the second episode was also kind of okay. Generation 2 kind of sucked, and Generation 3 we don't speak of.
Generation 3.5.
Best generation.
Let's get a villain from Generation 3.5.
There were no villains. Actually, I think that they should have a giant baby Scootaloo show up. Do you guys remember that? Yes! Maybe Scootaloo gets turned into a baby and just grows to Godzilla proportions. Can we have that happen? M.A.
No.
Larson, get on it. Yeah, thanks, M.A. Larson. Any G1 villains from you guys?
I never watched G1, so...
Any generation?
No.
I want to see a in-depth story about Scorpan, because if T-Rex is still alive, then Scorpan would very likely still be around too.
Doc, I have something to tell you that I'm kind of sad of. I always pronounce your brother's name T-Rex. I always do this. I was talking to, I think Thunderblur, no, Cam, I was talking to Cam Ghost Pony, and I was saying, Dr. Wolf's brother's coming. It's like, oh, who is he? I'm like, oh yeah, it's T-Rex. He's like, no, it's something else. I'm like, yeah, I know, but I can't pronounce it.
It's pronounced Terrick.
Terrick?
Terrick.
Why did I think that? But
Think
I
of
couldn't
Derek
say
with
it.
a T.
Right. He's
And I won't
going
remember
to
it tomorrow.
be here tomorrow, and
should
he's
tell-
actually going to be in full suit.
Go check out his panel tomorrow. And there is an example of how to promote someone easily. Just yell, pretty much. Yelling is a bad idea, actually.
Go to my YouTube channel.
That's what people do in the comment section. And you are the comment section.
Let's see. I think we had a question in the back there. Yeah.
So, Kim Possible had her Discord ears,
Yeah.
so I brought you these.
Oh, those are adorable,
Oh.
Doc.
They are wolf. They're not pony ears, they are wolf.
Doctor has wolf ear.
That
You know that surprise you were talking about? That must be it. He saw the post. It was because
Surprise.
surprise.
Enjoy.
Put him on. Come on, you're cosplaying as your OC. You gotta put him on.
no.
Yes. Put him on. Yes.
Wait a second. Okay, they put some words on the back of the ear here.
They're from
Great Wolf Lodge.
I see what you did there.
It's where your people live.
Do tell exactly what are my people? I gotta hear this. What? It's a resort. Okay.
Doc, I think you should make a video there. You should go on vacation again. We'll take your channel. I mean, I think we'll be perfectly fine taking your channel.
Yeah.
Don't let Robin on your channel.
Please let me on your channel.
By the way, disclaimer: we does not include Robin in that particular scenario.
They wouldn't invite me. I don't play well with others. And there's my Avengers quote for the day.
Dude, do you remember what we left the channel in last time?
That's because Ino tried to do a moment with Dr. Wolf. And that's why he's not here as well.
Hey.
He's still trying to figure it out.
Hey, don't put this on somebody who's not here.
We're all going to put this on someone who's not here. We always put it on someone who's not here. I blame A and Y. Thanks, Emmy Larson. You gotta put him on.
I'm trying. This is very, very difficult for me.
Yes!
Yes.
And now I have a thumbnail. I will make this the thumbnail. I could get Cat Avenger to draw something, but I think this is the funniest thing I've seen all day.
I get the
You
feeling
just
that
look
Dr.
so
Wolf.
livid right now.
It's not livid. I'm not entirely sure how to feel right now. You have to understand.
Are you being a mod?
My brother Tarek, he is a full-fledged furry. He has a complete fursuit that you will see tomorrow. He has been begging me for years to put something like this on, and I keep trying to tell him no.
You have just done us all a great favor.
I know. I'm going to have to show this to him tonight, and he's going to laugh hysterically at me.
I will have a snapshot of this. This is the thumbnail. I will tell you right now, this is now the thumbnail. Dr. Wolf and Wolf Ears.
I'm not feeling upset by it. I know I'm not. I'm trying to imagine his reaction in my mind. He's going to look at me wearing these.
I think we have one more quick
and
question.
He's going to be screaming, finally!
I think we have one more quick question out in the back before we go.
You can never live this down, by the way. You will never be able to live this one down.
Last question back, Chrysalis.
You. I can't tell your name. I don't know your name. It's all scripted. Every single video, pretty much all of us have made, except for Thunder because he does a podcast, is not unscripted. It is all scripted. Dr. Wolf went above and beyond, and he scripted his How to YouTube completely, 3.5 pages. Still, that is kind of insane.
Yeah.
But he did it. We all do scripts because it allows us to both not have these pauses that we have in panels and live streams. It also allows us to write humor in. It allows us to make jokes. It allows us to get in our bad references all the time.
It prevents us from becoming Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, this is Jeff Goldblum. This is way too close to the mic. I'm sorry.
I script out everything that I make. I have very, very rarely gone into a video without a script beforehand. And I actually record 1 or 2 sentences at a time. I will take a deep breath and I will record 1 or 2 sentences and then move on to the next one. And I will edit everything together afterwards.
Is that how It's Good to Be Helping thing came up, where you did the deep breath? Is that where it came from?
Actually, the It's Good to Be Helping line, that was put together on the very first moment with Dr. Wolf's script, because that was right after Voice of Reason had trashed Dr. Wolf's office and caused an accident outside, and Dr. Wolf was looking around the office. It's like, it's good to be helping. And it just stuck. It's stuck at the end of every video, and it really does work. It was just something I thought of in the moment when writing that script with Voice of Reason, and pretty much all the Moment with Dr. Wolf scripts are put together in an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops. It's basically me and my guest writing our immediate thoughts back and forth in a Google Doc. A lot of people seem to think that I spend hours and hours making sure that every word is exactly what it's supposed to be, but aside from reading through it afterwards and fixing some of the sentence structure, it really is just a normal, natural conversation that has been brought to a video.
And I guess that's the point of the videos. You want to have it like it's a therapist's office. So
Yeah.
he's doing a good job. But most videos are like that. It doesn't take us months and months unless if you're me trying to write a review of Total Drama Island, which I'm still working on 3 months later. It's about an hour, hour and a half if we're doing it on our own. If collabs are involved, then it can be from an hour and a half to the longest it's been is Total Drama Island, which is, it's been 3 months and we're still working on. The one with Heart Song does not count because she kind of went away for 8 months, so doesn't matter. That does not count. Yes? The Anthony C philosophy. The Anthony C philosophy is if you can't make videos all the time, make amazing videos so people don't mind a couple months wait. It is a philosophy you can agree with, or you can agree with the Dr. Wolf philosophy, which is make a lot of videos pretty much, and they're all amazing, and we all feel bad because we're not as good as Dr. Wolf. Thanks, Doc.
I think what I was saying earlier is that you can't think of someone that you idolize and compare your videos to theirs. The reason why I've gotten to where I am is because I've put so much work into it, and I've been so dedicated and driven and passionate, and if you say that to yourself, I want to get there, I want to start doing that, put in the time. What makes you say you can't?
School.
I have a full-time career. Come on. I keep telling this to people. I'm working 40-plus hours a week as a full-time career.
I just dropped the mic.
Oh, wow.
On top of that, I'm doing 20 to 25 hours a week making videos for YouTube.
Cause you're crazy!
It's because I love it.
I love this too, but I can't. I love this too, but I cannot spend 25 hours a week. Mainly because I don't have 25 hours a week.
There's that word again.
There's that
Make
word.
the time.
can't.
I should have brought my Pinkie Pie plushie.
Robin,
Don't
you have no excuse.
don't idolize the people you started watching because of this. And I started doing this because of his stuff. Him and a couple other people, they got me into this.
So you're saying that you didn't do it because you.
That was how I got most of my. Okay, I did this mostly because it sounded fun, but I learned kind of what I wanted to do with it from other people, from Anthony C, from Voice, from Dr. Wolf, from Golden Fox, from Paleo. That's how I learned. That's how I kind of learned how to make the videos, and I learned from also suggestions from both Skype contacts and comments. A lot of nasty comments. And I don't know the time. Yes, they are starting the opening ceremony. We ran late. I was actually afraid of the exact opposite happening. So we didn't plan an outro. I guess we could just walk off.
Hang on.
Walk off into the sunset.
Wait.
I am Dr. Wolf, and I look forward to hearing from you. How's that?
And now we can walk off. Thank you all for coming. Have a safe trip.